What's up, dudes? It is your boy Bulletproof Gatsby back at it once again, and we are here today to review Mortal Kombat. Scrub that out. We're just gonna keep on
I was
sending.
going to say, you started the whole thing with I'm literally back here, just chilling, like taking a drink. And you're like, Sada. I'm like, oh shit.
What's up, dudes? It is your boy Bulletproof Gatsby back at it once again, and I am joined today by my cousin
ComiCazi13.
What's up? And we are here today to talk about Mortal Kombat. And I tell you what, usually we do like a whole big spoiler-free thing, but there's really not a whole lot to say without diving into spoilers. The best thing for me is like all the action scenes, while I wish some of them were a little bit longer, I thought they were all really good. Really good.
I can agree with you on that. All the action scenes were pretty good. There's honestly only one I can think of that I was kind of like, all right. But other than that, the rest of them I thought were really good. I like like you were saying earlier, the stunt coordination, oh man, it was, I don't know, it was really fun. It was really fun.
All right, so getting into spoiler territory, let's start off just right at the very beginning. The Fire and Ice intro, I actually thought was really neat. You know, there's not a whole lot of intros where they really do anything. Like Harry Potter was one that I could think of where every time the WB logo showed up, it was like kind of.
They always had really cool intros.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Like they tried to do something with it to make it personable rather than just the stock footage.
Yeah,
at the beginning
anything like that, transitions like that are always cool.
Yeah, and I really dig that.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and once we start the movie, it starts off really strong with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and I gotta say, I'd love to see my boy Scorpion win, but I knew he had to take the L on this, and I think it was a really good fight. Yeah, Scorpion lost, but he didn't get taken out like no punk.
No, that fight was really awesome. Mm-hmm. It's again, the choreograph, like whoever choreographed all that did an awesome job. It looked really awesome. I loved Scorpion when he actually got a spear together there.
Yes, and we find out
really cool.
It's his
wife's gardening tool.
His wife's gardening tool. That's I
thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
the way he was moving with it reminded me a lot of that movie Ninja Assassin.
Dude, Ninja Assassin.
Still one of my favorite. Just fucking bloody action ninja. Like, oh man, it's a cool movie. If you guys haven't ever seen that one, check it out sometime.
Dude, that is good. Me and Dennis watched that in theaters, dude.
Oh yeah, I watched it in theaters too.
We were so stoked.
I was so scared.
We were like, dude, we were young at the time, so that's when like a week.
I was in the Marine Corps when it came out. So
oh god.
I was just like, I remember being in theaters just being like, oh, fuck.
So after Sub-Zero kills Scorpion, Raiden comes in and finds the baby that Sub-Zero didn't get to. And you were saying something about the trees that I actually thought was interesting because I didn't even think of it until he said.
Oh, the trees, yeah. How the trees looked exactly like from the '95 movie when Johnny Cage and Scorpion are fighting there in that forest. Just how they're all lined up like that. I can't remember exactly where they shot it at or what the name of that forest is. It's something popular, but just the way the trees were lined up in this one.
Nice little Easter egg for someone's for looking for something. Like I don't know.
Dude, I guess just watching that dang movie so much, man.
And then we see a prophecy about basically Cole. And it doesn't actually say that Cole's supposed to win the tournament. He says he's supposed to.
He's gathering everyone.
Yeah,
in the black and white text or whatever that comes up. Yeah, I think it says that he's gathering, or he's just gonna help gather. We would actually look that up.
He'll be integral to the plot, whatever it is, or he'll be integral to humans winning. But he might not win the next Mortal Kombat tournament, which
I could see that. Yeah. We had our theories about that.
I'd love to see him get the Deadly Alliance Liu Kang next snap.
Man, that was a sad moment in that game. Sorry, I just remember like that moment in that game. I was like, oh.
I remember coming over. You were the only person I knew that had it. Dude,
they snapped his fucking neck.
They snapped his fucking neck. Like not like oh maybe he's okay, like
spun that bitch around.
Yeah. His neck looked like fucking swirled ice cone or swirly ice cream. Cole's an MMA fighter and he does take the L in this fight, but it was mentioned that he took this fight short notice, so he probably wasn't training. He probably wasn't ready for this fight. He probably just needed the money. So even though he loses, and a lot of people give him gripe for losing, like he took a fight on short notice and didn't do terrible. I mean, he lost, but he wasn't.
Yeah. It doesn't, like, they don't play the down on the luck kind of guy very well with it. Because, I mean, he did a decent job. But...
Yeah.
Don't tap, Dad.
Don't tap.
As soon as she says it, it zooms in.
He's like, fuck you.
Yeah. As soon as she says it, it zooms into his hand, and they're like. It's like, oh my god, come on, man. The editing in this movie, I will admit, there's a couple editing things. But
There's a couple editing things, but one
you're
thing.
just cracking up about it. But hell, I mean, I watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation still, and people give me shit for it.
Yeah.
And I literally can point out all the little edits and just mishaps in that movie. It's almost like I don't know. It's like nostalgic, vintage for me. I'm
Vintage
like, oh man,
is
like,
the word
look
I'd
at that
rather
cheesy
use.
ass '90s movie. So next, Jax shows up.
He talks to him about his the birthmark, and then he's like, all right, deuces, we're gonna go get something to eat. So they go out into the town, and it's not something I appreciated really at first, but to see Sub-Zero walk just down the street
Was cool.
that was really cool.
I like that. Him being in Earthrealm, him being like in. It's not in this typical setting of Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not in Outworld, or it's not in like Japan or China or anything like that. It's just Sub-Zero walking down there. You're having a beer. You're like, yo, dude, that dude's freezing fucking rain, man. Yeah, hey, give me 2 more shots. I'm gonna watch this shit.
So, dude, Sub-Zero is really OP in this movie.
Menacing.
And
Like a horror movie icon almost.
Dude, they do. They play him like that, and I actually really dig it. And to see him like just start freezing shit and just throwing it down, and it's hitting cars. Once it starts coming down, one dude gets chunked out of nowhere. He's like, "Mark, Mark!" I was like, "Oh man!" And after that, no one else gets hurt. And
Yeah, I know, right?
Nothing else really.
Not
happens.
even the car.
Yeah, the car.
Until you get to the end of that scene, and then you realize it was just a giant editing mistake, and then all of a sudden you find all these dents all over this car.
Yeah, they show up they show up, and then like it's all dented as fuck. It's like it wasn't like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero, Jax just whips it into an alley, and just Sub-Zero is just standing out.
Just there, like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. He's just like, I knew you were turning down here, and then he like does the whole like, see ya,
like okay, it's like, okay, thanks, bye.
Smoke out.
So at that point, like I don't know why Jax wasn't like, all right, fuck him. Like it just ran
Yeah,
away.
right. Why
Like,
did Jax have to go fight him? Because movie. Because movie and because plot.
He needed to lose his arms, and I gotta say, out of all the ways I've seen Jax lose his arms, through Ermac, through Goro, I really like Sub-Zero being the one to take his arms off.
I think I could go with the Ermac one because
Ermac.
I hated playing against Ermac. So when he crushed my boy's arms, it like made me hate him even more.
Oh, so
You know, because I hated playing against good Ermac players and shit like that. And Jax was my dude. And then he fucking straight rips it or he like blows them off.
yeah, he just blows him off.
Yeah, he just blows them off. And I was just like, man, I hate the motherfucker even more now. But
This fucking guy
This
coming in
fucking guy.
here. All right, so I gotta say the Jax versus Sub-Zero fight, good fight. Not my top 3 on fights, but it's up there. It's good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's good. It's really
It's good. It's good to see like a dude that just a normal dude try to face the cryomancer, you know, himself and lose horribly. I love it when he puts his hand on his shoulder and he's just like, see ya.
He's like, bye. Right, so just as a side note, Sub-Zero's design, I like it. I wish I think it was you that mentioned it. I wish there was a little bit more blue in it. But beyond that, I dig the costume in general.
I think there was, and like I was saying too, I think there was some blue in there. I just think whatever filter or whatever they were using for the movie may have taken away from the blue that was in there.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of vibrant color.
No, it was very dark and kind of dull. Like they tried to give it that gritty feel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like Annihilation where it's all bright and beautiful.
Oh, bright and beautiful. Next scene, we finally get to see Molina, and I gotta say, it isn't until later in the movie, which I guess this is spoilers already. We can talk about it, like the way her mouth looks. I did not like.
Not at first.
not at first, and it took all the way up and until the end of the movie, which if we're talking about her design, we're already spoilers. But it looks like it's just like all like just blood, like there's just blood caked on her face, but it's actually just scabbing over because she can rip her mouth open. And
Even
once I saw that,
and shit.
yeah, like open it like the fucking cone heads or whatever,
like tarcottans.
Yeah, dude. Once I saw that, I'm like, that might be one of my favorite ways that they've done.
I'm in the same boat with you. I didn't like it at first. I was like, oh, that's a bland ass Molina. She had like zero purple in her shit too.
Yeah,
but whatever. I like the girl that plays her. I think she did a good job.
Oh,
I think she looks good.
She was creepy as fuck. She nailed it. I love her. Yeah.
Like you said, once her mouth opened up though, and it like you could see the skin like splitting and stuff as it was opening, and you could see it like splitting, and then more blood was starting to pour out. I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Once they send in Zyzoff, Reptile, Sonya and Cole finally meet, and she gives them a big expedition. Really big expedition.
She does this whole exposition dump on him. Just completely drops, how the tournament works, what's going on, things and rumors they've gathered. She doesn't know everything, but she has a general overview of what Mortal Kombat is. And I do, like you were saying, I do like how Cole says, well, they even spelled it wrong.
Yeah, they spelled it wrong, man. I thought, dude, that was good.
I mean, even as a kid, I was like, yeah, that's spelled wrong. No, it's not. No, it's combat with a K.
Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff that they show him, we actually get to see a little Easter egg for Nightwolf and for Kotal Khan. The way I look at it is Kotal Khan is literally the Outworld version of Nightwolf. To me, personally. That's my own little headcanon.
Well, because they're both from Native American cultures. Like, he's like an Aztec sort of god, and then Nightwolf's, I'm not sure what branch of Native American he is, but...
something. Madoka. Once we meet everybody, by the way, Kano fucking
stole the show.
Fucking
100%. He was the best part of the movie.
Absolutely. Period. So Reptile attacks them. I actually love this Reptile fight.
Yeah. I really like I like his design. But it was great. It reminded me of the reptilian version they used in the video games after they switched from the ninja. They started doing more reptilian.
Deadly Alliance.
Yep. It definitely reminded me of that. I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was cool. I like to watch. He's pretty OP because it took all three of them to fuck him up.
It did.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
it took
shout out to Reptile for that. But, I hope we'll see more of him or more of his species later on in later movies. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, because my initial reaction, because I missed the whole Zyzoff comment, so when it was mentioned that was Zyzoff, or that Zyzoff was actually his real name, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it wasn't just a Saurian. It was fucking Reptile.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll probably see more of him.
And then Kano wins, and he's like, "You fucking beauty." I love it. I love that part. Like,
it's great. First fatality of the movie.
Yeah. So, so just a testament of this Kano guy. That whoever plays him nailed it. Because when they
was it Josh Lawson or something like that?
Yeah.
I think it was.
So they come in.
Comedian. Great.
Yeah. So they walk in and Kano's like, "Hey, you be a shit and you're almost out of it."
Yeah.
I don't know why that's
scene. Yeah, I love how snappy he is,
dude.
He's got that mouth, that motor mouth. He reminds me of a Ryan Reynolds, but Australian.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's got that motor mouth. I love Ryan Reynolds. I've loved him since Van Wilder because I'm a talker, you're a talker, but he's smart and he also can rip into people as he's doing it and shit. He's just very articulate.
So from there, they finally decide Kano actually knows where Raiden's temple is. They go, they try to find it, they fly out there, and they bump into Liu Kang, which I actually like. I like this. It's not OG Liu Kang, but for what this
it's not
new
Robin,
thing is,
but I'll take it.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
I think he did a good job as cosplay Liu Kang, but
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I think he did a really good job. I just thought he was a little cultish and creepy with his Shaolin monkey stuff.
There was several scenes that I noticed that he kind of had like the wide eyes.
He's like, yeah,
come join us at the Temple of Light. That actually does sound like some call shit right there.
Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've been expecting you. It's like, oh, who the fuck are you? How do you know who I am?
What the fuck? So,
Anyway.
so they meet Liu Kang, and he lets them know that they are less than less than a month away from the tournament. What does he say?
I honestly cannot even remember. He just tells them, he's like, we should start training a while ago, and you guys are just now getting here. So we gotta go train.
We gotta go train. We gotta get the fuck out
right now.
So once he brings them in, you see all these murals, and like I said,
really cool.
There's one thing that I love and hate about this movie. They do alter the lore. I can understand the things they changed, but some of the things that they kept, like the Great Kung Lao winning the Mortal Kombat tournament, and then Goro coming in and
Ripping his ass in half.
literally ripping his ass in half. So we get that, and then we also get something that I actually haven't seen a whole lot of people call this correctly. A lot of people say that
you were
it's
the first one to point it out to me, and I didn't see anyone else.
That's not fucking King Jared and Queen Sindel. That is fucking Argus and Delia burying Taven and Dagon. And he saw everybody up above. That is literally a mural for Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which, for those of you that don't know, like, MK11 was the end for these new games that we've had. If you think about it, Armageddon was the end of the original series, the way I see it.
Oh yeah, no, Armageddon was the ending of, the original 93 when it came out.
Of the original 93
of the first of the first 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first 8 solid game, or canonical games.
After Armageddon, the series had to introduce time travel to keep the story going. Whenever they introduce time travel, we've seen
it in comics many times.
Yeah, it can be done shittily, but I think they did it very well. But yeah, Armageddon is the end all be all. Which, by the way, MK Armageddon has one of all of the PS2 era intros for the Mortal Kombat games were phenomenal, but I don't think you can top just in general the MK Armageddon intro.
The cinematic?
The cinematic.
Oh no, I remember watching that with you and just being like, what the fuck's going on?
Dude, because it's one of those cinematics that there's so much shit going on, you can literally rewatch it and rewatch it.
You see something new every time. It's like watching it's like watching Marvel Endgame and that ending battle.
Exactly.
But with all Mortal Kombat characters.
Exactly. There's so much shit going on. You have to rewatch it.
What? So, Argus Jared, the whole Armageddon thing is just, I think it's cool that they're letting them know, hey, we know about the story. We know about this. We know about this. We know about this lore. We know about this stuff. Just let us put out this prequel first. And
for me, a lot of the stuff that they did in this movie was look, we know we're changing the lore. We didn't change all of it. We kept some of it. We didn't change it all. You still got the art, the through line to the end of the story. Technically, to the end of the story is Armageddon. But that through line is still there.
But think about it. We really didn't start getting Mortal Kombat stories, good stories, until Mortal Kombat 4.
That's true.
Once we really started getting Ultimate, dude. The Sub-Zero story changes 3 times.
It's just text to give you some type of reward, where 4 afterwards was what
cinematics and stuff like that. Exactly. They had the 3D models. That was when Tanya betrays Liu Kang and fucking whoever in the crypts or whatever like that.
Tanya betrays Liu Kang.
Yeah,
she fucking betrays them. From the next scene, you see. It even shows Katana's fan. It shows a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because I even asked you at first. I was
I missed it.
Because when you're watching the movie, you're paying attention to everyone, and you don't see it, but it's hiding behind Kano, who's doing funny shit while they're showing it.
Yeah,
so
he's motherfucking somebody.
Yeah, he's motherfucking somebody, and they're paying attention to him.
But yeah, they bring out. They show Shinnok's amulet, and with Armageddon, Shinnok's amulet, they literally are paving the way for the sequels that are later on down the line. Because if we take the through line, this is a prequel. Next one's going to be the tournament, I'd assume. Then the following one after that's the tournament where Shao Kahn is the leader, and then Shinnok, Armageddon. Yeah, those are your 5 movies. Because Sub-Zero was signed on for 5 movies. There's your 5 fucking movies right there, buddy.
Now, do you think he's going to be playing noob? Or are they going to somehow make Bihan good? Or are they gonna bring in his little brother?
Cybot's gonna be.
Kuai Liang, is that what his name is?
Well, I think they can still bring in a. I think they can bring in Kuai Liang. Well, see, all they have to do is just make that just the Cole Young, the most recent badass descendant of Sub-Zero. It doesn't actually have to be his little brother.
What if they brought back like Sub-Zero's descendant and did like a Scorpion versus Sub-Zero's descendant, like Cole versus Sub-Zero's descendant?
Yeah, while they're in the temple, they finally get to meet Raiden, which I actually, it isn't Christopher Lambert, it isn't Highlander, but I do like the Raiden. I do.
I like him. He's a giant salt block, man. He's a butthead.
He is kind of a giant salt block because when they meet him, he knows that the fate of the world rests on the shoulders of these 4 people that just walked in the room. He shits on Cole.
Sorry, the Christopher Lambert.
He shits on Cole. He shits on Sonya. And he shits on Kano. Or he doesn't even say anything to Kano. And Kano goes to say something. He's just like lightning bolts him back. I'm like,
no powers.
He's like, you're gonna fuck that guy up, and you literally need him to win this tournament. Maybe not him,
right,
but you need him to do something. I don't know. He does kind of have his tude pants on. I will 100% attest to that. So
yeah.
I mean,
if we're gonna compare, I'm of course gonna go back to OG Lambert, but
yeah, it's tough
I
comparing.
like his charisma that he adds to Raiden.
Dude,
like this dude's just there for business. He's like, I am fucking Lord Raiden. We have a tournament to win. Don't fuck it up. Get your goddamn Arcana and shoot fireballs and shit.
Yeah, he's very straight-laced. Where Highlander had fun with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like, I'm a god. We gotta win this, and if we don't,
we're fucked. He's like, I'll be fine, but you guys are.
But you guys,
whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Would Raiden die, or would Raiden get damaged
if they took over the Earth Realm?
If they took over Earth Realm, yeah.
I think the Elder Gods at that point would maybe almost do like a DBZ and just shift him to another universe. Be like, all right, well, you're gonna guard this one.
Right on.
Or they might punish him for losing and straight up banish him or something.
Exile.
Yeah, exile him or something like that. Like, oh, you lost, Raiden, so.
What a dumbass! All right,
we don't want that god on our team.
So after that, we finally get to meet Kung Lao. Kung Lao actually comes in because Sub-Zero busts down the door and he attacks Liu Kang
in the temple. It was cool.
Yeah, dude, it was cool because not only does he save Liu Kang, he comes up. He already has his teleports through the hat.
The hat's just laying on the ground after it bounces off the wall, and then here comes Kung Lao. It looks so dope.
So beautiful, and he is so fucking OP in this movie. And they even have the little Shaolin monks stance, which just
I love the combo he pulls, where he does his Shaolin punches, because it's like the combo from MK9, where he's like does the Donnie Yen or whatever his name is, Donnie Wu or Donnie Yen.
No, you're right, Donnie Yen.
I love that. It was awesome. I was just like, yes, dude. Yes. Kung Lao, he comes in, he whoops some ass. They're all about ready to start brawling. Shang Tsung shows up.
Because Sub-Zero shows up, Shang Tsung, a bunch of people show up, and then Raiden's like, Ligma, and then puts up a force field. And so they're safe for now, but if anything happens to the staff, the force field goes down. It's not connected to him, it's connected to the staff. Which is whatever.
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 Got him.
So Sonya actually doesn't have her Arcana mark, so she's not allowed to train. But Liu Kang and Kano train, and Kung Lao and Cole train. And one thing I noticed is it's cool to hear the shing shing shing. Kung Lao's literally using his hat against Cole. And it's like, what if you cut his fucking head off, man?
What if Cole missteps and then it's just like, Blip.
Yeah.
I guess it's meant to be then at that point. I mean, you just gotta.
I guess.
The plot going, baby. The plot going, baby.
And then Liu Kang and Kano fight, and then Liu Kang is just spamming back B.
Sweeping him. Dude, he just keeps doing it, and he's like, is that the only move you know?
Is that the only move you know? We've all played someone where we've literally said that same is that the only fucking move you know, man? Yeah. Come on.
Playing slot. Do not play people that want to Sloth would sit there and spam Deathstroke and Injustice.
Oh, I remember Deathstroke and Bane. I remember playing this fucking kid. I remember.
Yeah. My Doomsday, though.
I hated your fucking Doomsday.
It's fun.
So, we find out that Liu Kang was not born with his Arcana.
It turns out that's how the Arcana can transfer, too. By you killing someone else that has it.
From there, we go to Jax being repaired, and he's got, like, these little T-Rex arms. And
Little baby arms.
Little baby arms. It reminds me of that Burger King commercial where he's like, I love the Whopper, but it's just these tiny hands, man. I was like, really, like, oh, dude, really small.
And like I was saying, I was like, he punches like how I punch in my dreams. It's like nothing. I ain't got nothing, man. And then Sonya's just getting after him like, come on, Jax, you can do better. And he's like,
she's like, quit being a pussy. So, I mean, you definitely feel bad. I did feel really bad for Jackson. I honestly did. But, so the first one of the fighters from Earthrealm is Kano to achieve their Arcana. But I gotta say, I was kind of like, I was laughing, but I was like, what are you doing, man? When like Kung Lao and Liu Kang are both like, you're a fat piece of shit. You fucking.
You don't need no egg rolls.
It's like, it's like, you big fat phony.
You phony.
And so he gets so pissed, he actually does a laser beam with his Arcana. No.
The cybernetics?
Yeah, no cybernetics.
Oh, no cybernetics. Yeah, because this Arcana is just like, it's powers that are in you that you're unlocking. It's there's no like outside help like cybernetics and stuff like that from the Lin Kuei and shit like that. Is that where he got his cybernetics from? Yeah, because wasn't he in dealings with the Lin Kuei when they started doing the robotic?
Yeah, I believe so, because they were doing the cyber initiative in the Lin Kuei, and something happened to Kano. I think so. I think you're right on that.
I think something happened there.
Because that was the main reason that the Kuai Liang like distanced himself from the Lin Kuei because they started doing the cyber initiative, which took place in 3, I guess. Yeah. So from there, Cole cannot achieve his Arcana, so they actually straight up send him home. And they actually mentioned before they sent him home, he was the only person that was actually born with his Arcana. Which I don't know how I feel, because I feel like Kung Lao might have been, but maybe not. But because he's the ancestor of the great Kung Lao.
I feel like that was passed down with him. I don't know about that. I'd have to go back and double check that.
Yeah, Kung Lao, with the exception of Kung Lao, Cole is the only one born with his Arcana.
Yeah.
So we finally meet Cabal and Rico, and then Natara. And I gotta say, Natara was good. I mean,
I think she looked good.
Yeah.
And then she looked good for how long she was in it.
And Rico's a little bit bigger than he was in the video games, but
I mean, he was later in the later iterations of Rico. If you go look up his stats and stuff like that in the later games, he was actually like in the Mortal Kombat 4 version, he was kind of small.
Yeah.
Then later on, when they brought him back, not Deadly Alliance, maybe Deception, or whichever one was the latter one. I believe he, like, in his bio, he was just a big dude.
Just a big
dude. Yeah, just a big shit house. Like, nothing special about him, but he was just a big dude.
Well, like, with that whole little plot line in MK4 where he likes to dress up as Shao Kahn, him being literally a dead ringer for Shao Kahn at this point without a mask, they literally could get that guy to come back and play Shao Kahn.
They could.
They totally could. Just a big brute with a hammer, like fucking...
Oh, yeah.
What's the guy from Soul Calibur, the big guy with the hammer? There's 7 of them.
Oh, Azeroth?
Yes, Azeroth, thank you.
Azeroth. Azeroth.
You're right. Azeroth.
Yeah, Azeroth.
Yeah. So
Azeroth and then Nightmare.
Yeah. He looks all right. We get to Cabal. I actually think Cabal looks
dope.
Dude, Cabal looks.
I think he looks good.
Out of every character in this movie, Cabal is the most video games accurate. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that, and I think he just looks dope.
But yeah,
I like the way his his speed animations are, and just like, yeah, I like the whole New York boy fucking bullshitting. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but it was good.
Yeah,
I liked him.
Yeah, meeting Cabal and seeing his costume was really great, and then he starts to talk, and you're like, oh my god, this guy's a potty mouth, just like Kano. And then lo and behold, Kano and Cabal actually have a scene together. They actually have a history together, and they are just motherfucking each other. I think their banter back and forth is one of my favorite like verbal exchanges in the movie, because it was phenomenal. Because no one has been able. I mean, short of Kung Lao and Liu Kang just literally shitting on him, like no one else was really able to just kind of keep up with them. They're just like they just kind of like look down like this fucking guy, and that's how the conversation ended.
He talks shit, and then I just gotta take it.
Yeah. Where Cabal and their
spits right back at
him. It was great. It was truly a sight to see.
It was a city boy versus an Aussie.
Yes,
pretty cool.
So from there we we find out that Kano is turned, which is not a huge surprise because we all knew Kano is a scumbag, fucking douchebag, piece of shit. Yeah. Which I think is what Cabal actually says.
Yeah.
So we get Cabal and Liu Kang fighting. We get Jax and Reiko fighting. We get Molina and Sonya fighting, and they all get bodied. But simultaneously, which is one thing you mentioned about how the fights feel, that's all smashed cut with Cole fighting Goro. And while I love pretty much everything with Goro specifically, I do not like the fact that Cole was the one to kill him. I know you gotta push your big players, you gotta back your big players.
But Cole, he just killed like a champion of Mortal Kombat.
He killed the champion of Mortal Kombat.
That was a little. That was a little much for me. That was a little.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fine. It's fine.
It's cool. It's fine. Totally.
But he had to do that with his Arcana, which is basically the Black Panther suit where it can absorb the energy, and then he also has Spiky Boy Tonfas or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they are. The shit Orchid used in Killer Instinct.
Yes. So like I get that if you're gonna make a brand new character, you got to give him brand new powers, someone that no one else in Mortal Kombat has, or people are gonna be like, you're taken from that guy. You're shitting on that guy by giving those powers to this guy. From there, we finally see Kung Lao throw down a little bit because he trained with Cole earlier, but when Natara flies in and he just hit and just does a little hop, skip, and a jump, and then pushes her right into his hat that's just spinning on the ground,
and it's table saw.
Oh my! It was
great.
It was beautiful. He's covered in blood, and he gives the shing, and he's like, "Oh, it's victory!" And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, that was so great! I loved it. I loved it so much. I can't say anything about it."
Like I said, one of my favorite fatalities was from Mortal Kombat 2, where Kung Lao sliced him right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Yeah, that was still to this day one of my favorite fatalities.
Cole kills Goro. Kung Lao kills Natara, but right after that happens, you have Jax saving Sonya.
Right, because Kano, he lasered like a piece of a statue down on
he throws it down, cuts the thing a piece off. And then I actually kind of like that idea of that, like his arms being his Arcana, like because it was specifically just badass robot arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually thought that was cool. And if you look back to the Sub-Zero fight at the beginning, Jax was holding his own until Sub-Zero started. He started scratched his elbows and his arms and
fucking up his ligaments.
Exactly,
it made him.
Yeah, and it made him go slow, and he was throwing punches slower. And as soon as that happened, that's when Sub-Zero took the cake. So I actually think Jax with his robot arms, might actually be able to
stand up to him better.
Yeah, stand up to him better. I'm not saying he's going to beat Sub-Zero, but he could definitely hold his own a little bit better because it was at least a fair fight up until then. Once he started using the powers, it's kind of over. After everyone gets their 1-2 punches, Raiden tries to transport everyone away. I was actually really surprised that Shang Tsung grabbed up Kung Lao and sucked that boy's soul right out of his body.
Yeah, that was it sucked, but I mean it sucked. It sucked. It sucked. No, it was. I mean, it was a little unfortunate that it was one of the, I think, better characters in Mortal Kombat to already kind of go down in the fight. But, that gives Liu Kang further drive. That gives Liu Kang further drive.
A lot further drive.
That gives just a little bit, plot progression. They took one of the big names out. So, someone had to die.
Somebody got to die. It's Mortal Kombat.
One of the good guys had to die.
Yeah. One thing I didn't notice because I watched it with subtitles one thing I didn't notice until I did watch it with subtitles, I thought just Kung Lao was screaming in general. He was actually calling out to Liu Kang.
Yeah.
When his soul was getting sucked out.
Yep.
And that kind of fucked me up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That kind of fucked me up a little bit that he's calling out to Liu, and Liu tries, and then Cole, being a piece of shit, is like, hold on, Liu Kang, let's sit here for about 5 more seconds while he finishes off your BFF's fucking soul.
We could maybe throw a fireball at him, but we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, let's not throw a fireball or anything that's else is established. Throw your fucking Tonfa stick at him, motherfucker.
Yeah, like, bonk him in the head.
I did not like that, but
it is
acquiesce. It is exactly. It is what
I
it
digress.
is. So Cole, they go into the void. Raiden gives Cole the Scorpion Sphere from the very beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And he's like, "This got your ancestors' blood on it, baby." And it's like, motherfucker, could you wipe this off? Like I don't want to put this in my pocket. It's got blood and
syphilis on this shit from like they didn't have a cure for this shit back in the day.
They did not have a fucking cure for that shit back in the days. So we get another montage of fights, but let's just break it down individually. Jax versus Reiko.
Really quick wish it was extended. This is some of my editing gripes I have. Wish all these fights were awesome, but I wish they were all extended a little bit.
Extended.
We're here to review what we got.
So, is that your biggest problem with the Jax versus Reiko fight?
No, I didn't want to start talking about this, but they're on one of the most iconic stages in Mortal Kombat, the Pit, and they don't use it. They don't even get. They get a couple good views of it, but the fight's so quick and it's focused in, zoomed in really on them that you don't get to appreciate where or what they're fighting on.
Yeah,
like you see a couple and it's like angles of them, and you see, oh hey, they're on the pit, the spikes, everything, but it looks awesome, but they don't use it. They go with a classic fatality, which is great. I love Jax. I love his fatality. He's always been one of my favorites.
That head
the
smash.
old flat.
That head smash.
It was great. I loved it. But I think they should have had like maybe different people fighting on there, or maybe Jax should. I think Jax should have uppercutted him into the pit. I mean,
I agree with you. If you're gonna be on the pit, uppercut a motherfucker into the pit.
Dude,
but that's just the subtleties. That's just the subtleties. Because next movie, I'm telling you, someone's gonna get knocked into the pit. I could be wrong.
There's got to be a lot of payoffs. Maybe the budget.
Yeah.
This is the first one in that series.
Well, do they have the budget to show someone falling and getting impaled on a bunch of spikes?
PGI that comes afterwards.
Or do they have the money for someone to clap his hands from the back and then from the front show just something smashing in between someone's hands? Sonya versus Kano, however, I just fucking love that fight, man. It was dirty. It was a barroom fucking brawl. Probably number 2 fight in this whole movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Number 2
it
fight.
was great. Just them rolling through that trailer and just fucking each other up. It gave me a lot of Kill Bill vibes for sure. What is that? Kill Bill 2.
Kill Bill 2,
where she's fighting. They're just fighting her in the trailer and shit. And oh man, great scene. But I really liked that fight. And then we move over to the Liu Kang and Cabal fight. How'd you feel on that?
I liked the Liu Kang fight. I liked that he got to do bicycle kick, and then he landed in some kind of water.
It's like an oil or something. I thought it was like a caviar pit. I was like, what is that?
That's kind of what it looked like to me, but I didn't want to say anything. So
from the Pierce Bronson James Bond, where he pushes the one dude to the caviar.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, what is it? But Liu Kang gets to do one of his classic finishers.
One of his classic finishers. And I feel like with that pit, it goes to say that he wouldn't have been able to do that without that pit.
Yeah, and that's why I think I saw another review where someone was saying it seemed like it was an oil pit, and I'm like, I'll go with it. Whatever.
Sure.
But the dragon fatality was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Think that fatality may have been the least glorious, but one of the most visually
visually pleasing.
Like it was cool just to see Liu Kang like punch the ground on the fire and the dragon come up. Like it was really cool. And I'm glad he got to fuck up Cabal because he was the one that was holding him back when he was trying to save Kung Lao.
Exactly.
So that was like a little bit of revenge on him. That's why he went like full, Ultra Instinct was just like, no.
So
that was my friend.
So of course Cole isn't the one that killed Molina. It's actually Sonya who portals in
Does a
And
cool spinny.
and already has her Arcana and shoots one of her gauntlet rings.
Yes, because of course we didn't mention it, but she does kill Kano after their little fight with the gnome that he hawked a loogie on earlier. It's kind of,
It's kind of a little callback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
callback. It's revenge. It's revenge for
Yeah.
the Luke, because he even says, if you look in the subtitles, I didn't hear it in theaters, but in the subtitles, he's like, gnomes, they creep me out.
Yeah, they creep me out. Yeah.
And it's just like, that's how it goes out with the gnome.
Hold on, I'm glad you made that caveat, because now that we talk about it, someone getting something smashed into their fucking skull could definitely kill him. Probably did. And Sony did get her Arcana from that, but that doesn't mean he's not savable. So now that he has had an I-beam laser, maybe his face getting fucking smashed
she
in.
even stabbed it into his right eye.
Yeah, exactly.
But his
same
main
eye.
eye, he was getting all his lasers out of. Which, we'll save
Is
that.
is that just a wink
save-
and a nod to like hey, it's that same eye?
Yeah.
I can see him coming back in a sequel and then needing the cybernetic bullshit
The
for his eyeball.
repairs.
But that's speculation. Let's talk about what we watched.
Yep.
So from there, after everybody basically wins, Sub-Zero comes in and he starts talking to Cole like, "Hey, got your family."
Yeah. Hey, bud. Remember this?
You remember this shit?
My daughter just made that.
No.
I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but the way Cole runs just cracks me up. He's like, all wide and shit. Like, I don't know. I'm not here to judge his running style, but it's just always goofy. He went a little more.
He throws his hands like he's the fucking Flash. Is that what you're trying to say?
Just in his leg movements, he's like real wide. He's like I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. It was goofy, but Cole jumps on Sub-Zero. He winds up teleporting him into an MMA gym.
He's getting ready to get shit on. He pulls out the thing that Raiden gave him earlier, Scorpion's original spearhead, and then Scorpion gets summoned because of the blood or whatever. He gets
I'm
summoned,
not sure how.
and it's one of the only few times they actually played the original. Oh my gosh, that Sub-Zero versus Scorpion fight. That's probably my number one. Number one is that
I feel like they shouldn't have spoiled as much as that fight in the trailer.
I could see them having.
Man, it would have been such a. I mean, it was still amazing.
It was still absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing. But the payoff on the.
And it's a really long fight. It's definitely.
It's the longest fight.
Maybe besides the intro scene, because the intro scene is also a really long fight where they just focus on the fight.
Yep.
Definitely the final battle, which I guess you would want your final battle to be the longest battle of the whole movie. But it was phenomenal. I'm just literally sitting back in my chair like.
Yeah, the whole
Loving
time,
it.
dude. There was just
Loving it.
awesome moves, good callbacks, moves from the video games you'll see. It was a fun fight.
It was a
Like
really fun fight.
all their movements again, the choreographing, whoever does that, just fucking kudos.
Just killed
It
it.
was awesome.
Absolutely killed it. One thing I didn't like about that scene though, there's a couple problems I have with this scene. His wife and his daughter are frozen on the wall.
Cole's wife and daughter.
Yeah, Cole's wife and daughter. And he starts punching the ice. Motherfucker, how you know you're not gonna break her in half? How you know she's not frozen? How you know her body's gonna act any different to the ice that it's like if she's frozen, you're gonna shatter the
I don't
fucking
know.
kneecap
But
out,
it
bro.
just reminded me of Jax punching the bag. Like,
I can't get this ice off
Oh.
my family.
Yeah, so
But,
great fight. Scorpion is absolutely amazing.
he's dope.
That little fire breath at the end. Oh, it was just a little dollop of cream. Exactly. Fucking Dusty.
Yeah.
It's that little dollop of cream right there at the end. And then it's a fucking great fight. There's really not much more to say besides it's the fight of the movie.
No, it is. It is. And then they kind of it ends quick after that. After the Scorpion and Sub-Zero scene or fight, it just kind of they wanted to end the movie.
They want to end the movie. They have Raiden and everybody else just
Well,
walk in and they're like blah 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 blah. And it's like, all right, let me put my list of the next fighters to recruit or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah, I was cracking up about that. Immediately after he says that, he's like, oh. And Cole's like, who's first? And it's like, can you give the man 5 minutes to figure out who like he needs to recruit? Like, you don't know. He literally just told you he has a list.
It's like
Or
someone
he
being
needs
like,
to make the list. He doesn't even have the list. He needs to make it.
the ending scene is also in the MMA gym. But one thing I was like kind of weirded out about, like Sub-Zero fight took place in the same MMA gym.
Wouldn't that gym be fucked up?
Yeah,
right?
wouldn't that gym be like fucking condemned?
Well, that and like flood damage?
Exactly. Not if it's like water damage that whole fucking place. And he's just like, and the ref just comes in like, hey, motherfucker.
So you gonna do some more fights for me? And he's like, no. My days of fighting for $200 are over, bud.
Exactly. And then
All right.
he's like, okay.
Okay. Where you going next? I'm going to Hollywood. Typical like fucking mint or like fucking reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, where you going? What are you gonna do in Hollywood?
What are you gonna do in Hollywood? Are those my pants?
Those my pants.
I fucking see you.
I see you, Fry Man.
So we get our like post. There is no post credit scene. We get our post credit scene in the fact that we see a Johnny Cage poster.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to Hollywood. It's not about what, it's who.
It's not about what.
And then as soon as you say that, they pan over to like Johnny Cage holding his cage belt, fucking big dick in it. Just
so in closing, there are a bunch of little gripes that I do have with this movie, especially involving lore and basically the lore changes and Cole being the main character. But beyond that, I actually did have a lot of fun with this movie. I really did.
the more and more I watch it, the more and more it grows on me. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's one of those.
it's one of those.
You know, as a fan, I could sit here and gripe about it and pick it apart all day.
Right.
But
right.
at the end of the day, Lauren, who's not even she knows nothing about Mortal Kombat, she went into it for the action. She's like, you know what? She's like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And then I was like, all right, well, so regular people are enjoying it, and then diehard fans can enjoy the parts they want to enjoy and nitpick it.
The
where
diehard
they
fans are
can.
the ones that are really nitpicking it. But you know what? That's almost always how it goes.
It is, you know, for a
Any
video game
adaptation.
movie though. For a video game movie, did a good job.
For a video game movie,
Because
it
if
did
we
a
look at the
phenomenal
record,
job.
if we look at the history of any of the other video game movies, it's not good.
Oh my
I mean, I still want to check out Monster Hunter. I don't know if you.
dude, Monster Hunter, yeah, I feel that.
I want to check it out.
Good
Critic-
popcorn movie.
Yeah. I was gonna say critics are bashing on it, but good popcorn movie from what I heard. And I played the games a little bit. I had some fun with them.
So my final question is, are you excited for the sequel? Because this movie, and kind of in general, is sort of a sequel baity type of movie. Are you excited?
Oh
for
no,
the
it's
sequel?
extremely sequel baity because we didn't even talk about when Shang Tsung teleported all the dead bodies back.
We forgot to mention that. Yeah, he
He-
teleports all the dead bodies back, so everyone that died in this movie could feasibly come back in the next one.
As
By-
either a revenant or some sort of what's the pit?
The Lazarus pit.
The Lazarus pit. You
Yeah.
know, come back a little crazy, but that's pretty much a revenant.
That's pretty much about it. So I'm super excited for the sequel.
I am too. This is a good prequel. It's a good setup. I think they didn't do too bad. There's improvements to be made, but again, that's coming from a first-time writer, and I'm not too sure who else was on the production of this. I'd have to look into it, but you know, for a first go around, not bad. I'll give them the Benny on a sequel. Let's see what a sequel can do.
Yeah.
And then take us to the tournament. I think that's what everyone wants to see.
That's another
That's
big
what will
gripe
really give us
of mine. No tournament.
our
I expected a tournament.
give us a tournament. Let's see how you do in that setting, and then we'll go from there. Because we didn't really get to see Mortal Kombat here. We got to see a prequel to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And I feel the next movie, they're gonna have a little bit more of a. I felt like they did this on purpose to build a budget so that they can spend on their next one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the next one's gonna be. I think it's gonna be great. Cinematography is even gonna be better, which was already great. At the end of the day, I say this was a good start.
A very good start. A very good
start.
foundation for.
But room for improvement.
Definitely room for improvement, but a good foundation of a future franchise.
Yeah.
I 100% feel that. And let's hold on. We haven't done it already. Let's just get us a nice little cheers
in there. Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we got for you guys today. And until next time.
Take care, guys.